Hey there, folks. If I can, I would like to clear up some things about Buford Pusser's Chief Deputy, Jim Moffett. Jim Moffett and Buford were friends. Buford used to ride around with him in his patrol car when Jim used to be a City of Adamsville patrolman part-time. Okay, Buford was in high school at this time. Now, Jim was even more longtime friends with Buford's daddy, Carl. In fact, it is often said that Jim and Carl were pretty much best friends. Now, that being said, what I want to reveal to you is all hearsay. But all we have on both sides of the story, as I've said before, whether you believe Buford was crooked and killed Pauline, or whether you believe the so-called Pusser legend, is all hearsay. Every bit of it's hearsay on both sides. So that being said, Buford and Carl were moonshine buddies. They cooked moonshine. They ran moonshine together. Different things. Chief Deputy Jim Moffett had one of the biggest steals in McNairy County. So, that being said, I'm not putting down moonshiners. My grandpa was a moonshiner. It is illegal, yes, if you don't do it right and have the right permits and everything, especially back then, it was very illegal. But the thing about it was, they were moonshiners. Jim Moffett, even though he was a good man, I think he was a lot better man than Buford ever was, Jim had some faults too. Jim run around with other women. Buford knew about this. Jim wanted to keep running moonshine. That's how he fed his family. Buford knew about this. So if you ask yourself, how can Jim Moffett ever go back and work for Buford Pusser after he knows that Buford killed Pauline or suspects Buford killed Pauline? Well, Jim had to feed his family. Jim wanted to keep doing the moonshine business. Jim wanted to keep running around with women. And I'm not knocking Jim Moffett. He wasn't perfect, but I believe he was a lot better man than Buford. But Jim Moffett was a moonshiner, and he liked to chase around women. Buford knew about that, so he had a lot to lose because Buford, I'm sure, had a lot of dirt on Jim Moffett. And that's why he continued to work for him.